Hi, Louise here again. I'm going to attempt to make a clip showing some scientific parallels that exist in quantum physics and in the idea that all things that exist in our world originated in the imagination. So Neville Goddard's teachings explain that if we imagine ourselves in our desired state, in other words, the kind of person we would be if we achieved our dream, it will eventually happen. We're bringing it into our world through the feeling of what it would be like. So Neville Goddard made these comparisons between the world of the imagination and the world of quantum physics, in particular the behaviour of the positron, after reading Richard Feynman's work, and I'm going to say a bit about the great man now. Professor Feynman of Cornell University was one of the outstanding physicists of the day in speculative theoretical physics, and he wrote a letter for the publication The Science Newsletter in 1949 concerning the positron, a particle produced in atomic disintegration which is like the electron but positive in its charge. Almost 20 years later, he received the Nobel Prize for his 1949 paper, The Theory of Positrons. Feynman stated, "The positron is a wrong-way electron. It starts from where it hasn't been, and it speeds to where it was an instant ago. It is bounced so hard, its time sense is reversed, and then it returns to where it hasn't been. When a little electron is moving speedily in space, if it is bounced, it is deflected, but continues on its course. But if it is bounced so hard, then its time sense is reversed, and it returns to where it hasn't been. Now," he said, "on the basis of this, we must now conclude that the entire concept that man held of the universe is false. We always believed that the future developed slowly out of the past. Now with this concept, which we have seen and photographed, we must now conclude that the entire space-time history of the world is laid out, and we only become aware of increasing portions of it successively." The behaviour of the positron can be compared to using the imagination to create reality. So Richard Feynman said, "The positron starts from where it hasn't been, and it moves to where it was a moment before. Arriving there, it is bounced so hard, its time sense is reversed, and it moves back to where it hasn't been." Now, it can sound a bit confusing talking about something going back to where it hasn't been, but we can break down that statement and compare it to what Neville Goddard taught. So Feynman starts off, the positron starts from where it hasn't been. According to Neville Goddard, we are to imagine ourselves in the state we wish to become. We go in our imagination to where we haven't been. Then Feynman says it moves to where it was a moment before. Arriving there, it is bounced so hard. And when we open our eyes after imagining, if we've really gone somewhere in our imagination, it's almost a jolt to see our environment again. It's a shock because we feel we were just somewhere else. Then Feynman says it is bounced so hard, its time sense is reversed, and it moves back to where it hasn't been. That's us. We begin to move back to the imagined state, which becomes our new reality. Neville Goddard explains it even better. He says, I go forward in time to where I have not yet visited physically, and I simply enclose myself in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. I haven't yet realised it physically, but I go forward in my mind's eye, in my imagination, into the state. And I talk with my friends from the wish fulfilled, as though it were true. Then I open my eyes, and I am startled to find that I am sitting in a chair where I was a moment before, and what I have just done is denied by my senses. But strangely enough, the whole vast world reshuffles itself and forms a bridge of incidents, across which I move to the fulfillment of that state where I have been. He says, I went forward and I did what I wanted to do. And then I started from where I had not been physically and sped back to where I was physically. And then I was bounced, shocked that it wasn't true. I was bounced so hard that I then turned around in my time sense and moved back to fulfill where I had been in my imagination. If there is evidence for a thing, does it really matter what the world thinks about it, if there is evidence for it? Well, I had the evidence for it, but I could not explain it scientifically. I only knew it worked. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to reading any comments about quantum physics and the nature of reality. Till the next time, bye. Now that we understand quantum physics, let's embrace the nature of reality.